in my room.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Obviously a good result, wasn't it? Yeah, really special for the girls, no doubt. And sounded like they stayed at the ground until they were kicked out, which was well deserved. So fantastic result. What's that? The second three-peat for the Aussie girls in T20 cricket. I think their 13th World Cup across both white ball formats. So incredible team, incredible achievement certainly for that group, but also some of the girls that have been there for a fair while now as well.
Did you get to speak to Elisa?
Yep. You keep butting in on each other. Yeah, got to speak to her. Obviously, they were celebrating and enjoying the moment. So I think they get the chance again today while they're in Africa before the majority of them head over here. So I'm sure they'll enjoy today and reflect on the tournament they've had and the success they've had over certainly the last 3 T20 World Cups for that group. So yeah, they're all pretty chuffed and acknowledge what a special moment it is as well.
You done, Luke? Was it just a personal call, or was it a video call between the groups, or to South Africa?
Yeah, I spoke to my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, you. But I was saying no. It wasn't a team call. Like you guys weren't talking on video or something. Team to team.
No. Sorry. No.
Louis asks the questions much better, doesn't he? Yeah.
No, I watched it by myself.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, just obviously they were enjoying the moment. So I think that it took a while to get their phones and whatnot. So I think a lot of the boys were already asleep. But no, it was nice to quickly speak and I guess say well done and the rest and let them kick on with what they wanted to do.
Thank you.
How's the finger feeling? Right to go?
Yeah, always right to go. It's a test match. It's good enough.
Yeah, and you're bowling full speed in the nets in Delhi the other day. You're just feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's there's going to be a level of discomfort for a while. It's not. I don't think it's going to be 100% per se for a fair while, but yeah, certainly good enough. The ball's coming out quite nicely and feel like it pretty much at full tilt. So it wouldn't be the first test match I've played in some sort of discomfort. If I only played when I was 100%, I probably played about 5 or 10 tests. So no, look, it's happy with where it's at, and I guess I've got enough of a pain threshold to deal with that sort of stuff over the last 10 or 12 years.
What's been the biggest challenge in managing that injury in terms of what it's done for your bowling? Has it been the grip on the ball? Has it been when you're trying to release it? Just talk us through what the actual difficulty has been caused by it, as opposed to maybe a different type of broken finger might have been?
Nothing physically in terms of what the finger does. There's not the same amount of movement in it. It's more the I guess the discomfort of the joint being restricted after being in a splint for 6 weeks and still having to be in a splint for another couple of weeks yet. So that's probably the only part, just dealing with the discomfort of it and getting the movement back in it, the mobility back in it. So that'll come over the next couple of weeks, and it's progressed again. As I said the other week, it's progressing each day or each session that I bowl. So yeah, it's not a concern for me, the comfort levels. It's doing what it needs to do to be available to play.
The Indian seamers have had quite an impact on, particularly Mohammad Shami on this series. Are you confident that the Australian quicks can have an impact in this series going forward? And you particularly, do you think your skill set might go quite well out here?
Yeah, it's obviously been a challenge for the last couple of weeks, or the first 2 tests. We do see spin obviously playing a huge part in this test series, but as you say, the quicks have still played a particular role, whether it be with the new ball, if it does reverse, being able to sort of bowl that skiddy ball and bring the stumps into play. So yeah, there's certainly an important role to play for the seam bowlers, as you mentioned with the Indian guys, and I think Pat at different times has played a key role in being attacking as well with the ball. So I haven't been out to have a look yet. No doubt spin will play another part this week, but yeah, if myself or some of the other seamers get a chance out here, we'll have to play an important role with the spinners to take those 20 wickets.
Would it be a concern at all, Mitch, in terms of having not played a test in so long, potentially being the only fast bowler, or 1.5 fast bowlers if Cam comes back as well?
No concern. I've been bowling for I think I had 10 days off when I first had the injury and been bowling since. So workload-wise, body-wise, no concern at all. I'm completely comfortable and happy with where my numbers are, where my body's at in preparing for this series, and obviously not having the first 2 tests to continue that preparation as well. So yeah, in that regard, very happy where it's all at. It's now just an execution of skills and having that, I guess, the break from game time, but likewise having that time to prepare at home and certainly over here the last sort of 2-3 weeks.
And the wobble seam ball, the one you couldn't bowl in Melbourne, have you got that back?
Guess we'll find out.
What are your memories of bowling previously in Test cricket in India, and what's worked for you out here in the past?
Not sure anything's worked for me in the past.
Has it been one of the tougher places you found? Have you found it tough out here?
Yeah, I guess I haven't played a heap of cricket here. Red or white ball, I don't think. So, yeah, I guess calling on those past experiences, it's been very different wickets across the different grounds, and I think probably different again this series to when we were last here. So I still think having those experiences of Pakistan and Sri Lanka recently as this group and certainly as a bowling group will play a part. Again, it's very different to those two series. But yeah, in terms of skill sets, they're the same. It's just how you execute them on these wickets, and obviously a different batting lineup. So yeah, it's not always a case of how it's been in the past. We will progress as players and as a group and skill sets. So it's just about executing this week.
One thing that Shami and Siraj seem to be pretty good at is bowling sort of short, impactful spells in the time that they do get the ball, and then potentially they can open up an end that the spinners can then work at. Is that how you see your role?
I have to ask Steve. I guess there's always an element of that in the subcontinent with particularly this series with spin playing a huge part and the number of overs they bowl. So I think as quicks you've got to be prepared to bowl at any point, and whether that be they're looking like shorter spells, but also working with the guy at the other end. For me, being a left arm is slightly different. Obviously with the foot marks that I can produce as well. I certainly produce more than certainly the Indian guys, with probably being a bit heavier at the crease as well. So yeah, for me, if it is short, sharp spells, using both sides of the wicket, using a bit of airspeed as well. Hopefully, there might be some reverse out there. I'm not sure about the square yet. There looks nice grass covering, but no, we'll see how it plans out. We'll obviously make our plans the next day and a half and see where we go from there.
Obviously, you and Pat have gone back a long, long way. Has there been, I suppose, he was there for you a few years ago when it was really tough for you, and likewise now for him? Yeah,
I think it's obviously been a big part of this group, not only this week, but for a long time now. Care's a big factor in this group, and certainly in the case for Pat, he's exactly where he needs to be right now. And I guess having been through a similar situation recently, I guess it's a hard place to be, trying to get your head around playing international cricket and for him to captain at the same time when your mind might be back home or with your family. So, we're sons, partners, fathers first, people first, and cricketers second. So he's got the complete support of the group. It's been tough to I guess see him go through it from afar. So nice for him to get the opportunity to go home and be around the family, to support the rest of his family, and obviously to go through that not being overseas at the same time.
Did you talk to him at any stage about that thing of, sometimes you can't really control where your thoughts are at if you're in that situation with your family?
Yeah, you'll go through different things with different levels of distress or hardship, I guess. And it was hard enough being in a bubble, COVID bubble, in the same country, let alone being overseas and having to captain international cricket. So, Pat's a very resilient and strong character, and I'm sure he was going through some stuff silently. But yeah, as I said, he's exactly where he needs to be now to give his love and support to his family around him. And I can only imagine that would have been incredibly hard being over here with with obviously a lot of noise back home as well.
Steve has stood in a couple of times during Pat's tenure. Does much change when he takes over? Is it all fairly seamless when Steve slots back in?
Yeah, I think it's pretty seamless. He's obviously done it for a long time. Certainly I've played a lot of cricket with Steve as captain as well, so personally it's been a pretty easy transition. Not much changes. You know, it's still the same group of players, obviously without Pat, but not much changes too much. He's obviously going to have certain ways that he likes to captain as well, or different ideas, which he is no different when he's vice captain to Pat. So yeah, it's going to be slightly different, but I think we've seen over the last sort of 12 to 18 months when he stepped in, he's done a fantastic job again. Obviously the couple of tests he had to do in Adelaide were really successful for the group, so hopefully it's another great week for our team to sort of bounce back from the last two.
All good.
Yeah, well,
Thanks very much.